We live in an incredible age. Type a few words, and a machine conjures a stunning image, an astronaut on Mars, a cyberpunk city in Van Gogh's style, within seconds. It feels like magic, like the future we were promised. AI art tools like Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and DALL-E have put this power in millions of hands, democratizing visual creation. But every powerful tool has a story, and a hidden cost. The magic of instant AI art is built on a massive foundation of data. Billions of images scraped from the internet. These images were created by real artists who poured years of passion and skill into their work. Most were never asked for permission. Their art was taken, uncompensated, to teach machines how to mimic them. This raises urgent questions. What happens to creativity and ownership when a machine can copy any artist's style on demand? We're so dazzled by the output, we rarely look at the ethics under the hood. The convenience is undeniable, but what's the true price of this instant creativity? Let's break it down and investigate what's really going on. This isn't just a technical problem, it's a human one. It affects livelihoods, the definition of art, and what it means to be a creator today. We need to peel back the layers and talk to those directly impacted. Only by examining the technology, the ethics, and the human stories can we grasp the full picture of this silent crisis. To understand the problem, we need to know how AI art generators work. They're built on data, billions of images and text descriptions scraped from the internet. The Layan 5B dataset alone contains over 5 billion image text pairs. These models don't create from nothing. They learn from a vast library of human creativity. The AI analyzes patterns, styles, and relationships between words and visuals on a scale no human could match. It's taught to turn noise into images, guided by prompts, referencing what it learned from all those images. When you type a cat in the style of Rembrandt, it knows both because it's seen countless examples in its training data. Here's the ethical dilemma. The companies didn't create those images or get permission from the artists. Tech companies argue it's fair use, but artists see their life's work being digitized and used to build machines that can mass produce in their style. The AI isn't inspired like a human, it's running statistical analysis on pixels, replicating style with frightening accuracy. It learns the unique brushstrokes, color palettes, and designs that make an artist's work their own. And it does all this without crediting or compensating the original creators. To see the real impact, let's look at a human story. Alex, a concept artist in the video game industry. For years, Alex built a unique style, a blend of gritty sci-fi and ethereal fantasy, that became his signature and livelihood. One day, he discovered AI-generated images online that looked eerily like his own work. The prompts? In the style of Alex. His name had become a command. Strangers were generating endless variations of his art, some even using it for their own projects. Suddenly, commission requests dropped. Studios he'd worked with began using AI to generate art in his style, for a fraction of the cost. Alex was being replaced by a machine trained on his own portfolio, without his consent. This isn't just Alex's story. It's happening to countless artists. Their names become keywords, their portfolios become training data, and their careers are on shaky ground. Illustrators, photographers, and designers watch as their work is ingested and replicated by systems that offer no credit or compensation. The unique human perspective and skill that made them valuable is being devalued by automation. It's a silent crisis, devastating real people. The very thing that made them unique is now a feature in a software program. The professional consequences are swift and brutal. The creative world is being upended, and artists are left to pick up the pieces. What happened to Alex highlights a crucial issue, the imitation of an artist's unique style. An artist's style is their voice, their fingerprint, their brand. AI art generators treat this signature as just another variable. By training on an artist's work, these models can replicate the core components of their style with forensic precision. A user can type artwork in the style of artist's name and get a convincing imitation. This detaches style from the artist, turning their name into a commodity. Clients who once hired the artist can now get a good enough version for a fraction of the cost. The artist is forced to compete against infinite, cheap imitations of themselves. Defenders say humans have always learned by copying, but there's a difference. Humans copy to learn and grow. AI copies to replicate endlessly. The AI doesn't develop its own voice. It just executes commands. This isn't an apprentice learning from a master. It's a factory, mass-producing forgeries. The original artist's identity becomes the blueprint for endless imitation. The damage goes far beyond lost income. It strikes at the heart of an artist's identity and well-being. Imagine building something unique, only to see it automated and commodified. Artists feel violated, helpless, and anxious about sharing their work online. The platforms that once built their careers now expose them to data scrapers. They face an impossible choice: share and risk exploitation, or hide and lose visibility. This fear stifles creativity and discourages open sharing. The existential threat leads to burnout and even drives some to abandon their craft. The ripple effect threatens the entire creative ecosystem, especially for emerging artists. If innovation is punished, we risk a future of homogenized AI-generated art and a stagnant visual culture. At the center of this storm are the tech giants racing to dominate AI. Their goal: build the most powerful models, attract users, and capture the market fast. The cheapest way? Scrape data from the internet, ignoring copyright, consent, or compensation. The mantra: move fast and break things. What's broken are artists' livelihoods and rights. Legal and ethical concerns are treated as obstacles, not priorities. The narrative is democratization, but it's built on the backs of exploited creators. The cost is externalized, paid by artists, not companies or users. Individual artists can't fight billion-dollar corporations. Class action lawsuits are slow and uncertain. Meanwhile, tech companies profit and entrench these systems deeper into our digital lives. By the time the law catches up, the damage may be irreversible. AI's biggest selling point is frictionless creation. No skill, no time, just results. But the friction hasn't disappeared. It's shifted onto the artist whose work was used for training. The ethical cost is hidden behind a clean user interface. This illusion of convenience devalues skill, effort, and the creative journey. The struggle and practice that forge true artistry are bypassed. We risk teaching a generation that only the final product matters, not the process. Expertise becomes redundant, and critical thinking fades. When creation is too easy, we stop asking where it comes from or who pays the price. We're conditioned to consume fast art without considering its origins. The frictionless fallacy makes us complicit in exploitation. We need to reintroduce friction by asking hard questions. Who made this? Whose labor was used? Only then can we make informed, ethical choices. The situation is dire, but not hopeless. We can build a better system, one that balances innovation with ethics. First, tech companies must license data for AI training, with opt-in, opt-out, and fair compensation for artists. This is standard in music and photography. It should be an AI art, too. Artists need tools for control, metadata standards, digital watermarks, and do not train tags. Every AI-generated image should be transparently labeled, with model information attached. Transparency prevents fraud and ensures proper credit. Responsibility also lies with users and clients. Support human artists, demand transparency, and value creative labor. Companies replacing artists with AI should be held accountable. Building this system requires cooperation between artists, tech, and policymakers. The alternative is a future where creativity is devalued and artists can't make a living. We have the tools. Do we have the will to use them? We're at a crossroads. One path leads to unchecked AI, where profit trumps creativity and artists can't survive. The other path harnesses AI responsibly, with guardrails that protect creators' rights and dignity. We need strong global regulations. Individual lawsuits aren't enough. Countries like Brazil are considering laws requiring consent for training data and clear labeling of AI-generated content. This isn't about stifling innovation, it's about building a sustainable, fair ecosystem. Art is more than a product, it's how we understand ourselves and our world. If we let automation erode its value, we lose something profound. The urgency is real, technology is racing ahead, and the law is lagging. Next time you see a breathtaking AI image, pause and ask, what's the real cost of this magic, and are we willing to pay it?